Are you somebody that enjoys chasing historical water profiles when you're brewing different beer styles?
I used to. When I was first learning this, I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that's the bee's knees. This is how that worked. But then, other people helped me understand that it's really not. I mean, because there's no single correct answer when it comes to cooking, is there?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah.
Everybody seasons their stuff different.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandmother,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no perfect single recipe. But when it comes to seasoning, we are like, we got to get the mash pH right.
Mm-hmm.
Once we've done that, now we're playing with the seasoning, sulfate and chloride, and the amount of sulfate and chloride to really reinforce that beer's character as appropriate to the style. So again, soft beer styles, Bohemian Pilsner, Kolsch, other soft beers. We're looking for a light mineral profile, delicate flavors. And then more aggressive beers, pale ales, IPAs, there's lots, pick one. But yeah, now we're adding a little more salt to make those flavors a little bit more robust. And that's about as complicated as it really needs to get. So my education when it came to chasing classic brewing profiles and was understanding how did that city's water integrate with that local style. A great example is Irish Stout.
Yeah.
Guinness Stout. When that brewery first started up, they were brewing with their local high alkaline water. They were adding, this dark malt, the roast barley to help. And this is 200 years before the advent of pH.
Yeah.
But they could see the results in their wort and in their fermentations. So they knew that by adding dark malts to the mash, they got better conversion. And better flavor. And then this is so wild. I mean, the fact that they didn't have a lot of the tools, they didn't have thermometers. For instance. But anyway, so they're brewing with that local water. They're developing the Irish Stout style with roast barley. And then about 25, 30 years into the life of that brewery, they said, hey, we can't supply enough water from our local well. They just completed this canal 100 yards over there. Let's pull water from that canal that comes from up in the mountains. It's very clean water. And they started doing that. Completely different water profile, low alkalinity. And so what they did, and they continue to do to this day, is they mash the base malt separately from dark grains. Because, again, it was a matter of understanding the effect of mash pH on their wort.
So I was a history teacher back in the day, and to me, that's one of those it's one of those amazing things is to see how beer style, because when we talk about evolution, usually we're talking about life forms, right? But to see the evolution of beer based on locality, right? That's always one of the things that's so fascinating to me. Ultimately, what works ends up willing out, right? And so it's so cool to see that what we sometimes think of as a very human or life form oriented concept, applying it to the evolution of a beverage. I maybe I get too excited about that stuff. That stuff's pretty sweet to me.